Working on your bike can be daunting, but here are 5 easy skills you can learn to work on your bike and save you money. Skill number 1, put air in your tires. Without the proper air in your tires, you're gonna ride slower and wear out the tires quicker because it's just all folded and squished a little more than it should be. You should never be able to do this. If you're doing this, you gotta put air in your tire, and that's totally fine. It's normal that bikes lose air, especially if they haven't been ridden in a while, or even if they have, you probably still gotta top it off every now and then. A really high level, the process is you find your valve, you put the pump on, put air in the tire, take the pump off, close the valve, and start riding. The only watch out here is that there's 2 types of valves, a Presta and a Schrader. Schrader is what's probably on your car, and Presta is what's on a lot of bikes, but most new bike pumps can do both. If not, you may just need a little adapter, but just check your bike pump, it'll say. The only thing you'll need to do this is a bike pump, but if you don't have one, gas stations, bike shops, and a lot of trails will have free little maintenance stations where you can put air in your tires. Skill number 2 is lubing your chain. This is something that I see way too many people neglect. This is the lifeblood of your bike. If this is rusted or doesn't work well, nothing about the bike is gonna feel good. 2 easy ways to know if you need to lube your chain. 1, if it isn't a nice, bright, shiny silver. If it's any other color besides silver, if it's black, rusted, anything like that. I mean, this is a bronze chain, it's not rusted, but if it's not a nice silver clean chain, you probably need to lube it. And then 2, if your chain makes any noise. For example, when the chain is well lubed, it's basically quiet. The only thing you need to lube your chain is a rag to clean off the old gunk and then some lube to put on. If you want to see how to go about lubing your chain, I made a whole video up here. Number 3, make minor fit adjustments. Bikes may seem intimidating and super complex, but they're actually pretty simple things, and they can be taken apart almost entirely just with a little tool set like this. Almost everything on the bike is put together just with little nuts and bolts, and you can take them apart with a couple Allen keys. There's different sizes for different parts of the bike, but it doesn't matter if you want to put a bottle cage on, lower the seat, change the stem, all of that can just be done with this little tool set. Number 4, taking off wheels. There's a lot of reasons you might need to take a wheel off, especially to do the 5th skill, but the good news is it's super simple. There's 2 types of axles. One is a quick release skewer and another one is a through axle. And honestly, most modern bikes nowadays have through axles, which require a tool to take off, or some bikes come with the tool like kind of built in a clever way. It's cool. But a lot of older bikes had quick release levers where you'd flip the lever, spin it out, and then the whole wheel would slide out of the frame, versus through axles go all the way through the fork of the bike and then through the middle of the wheel. And to take these off, you simply just get your little multi-tool and then go lefty-loosey for the front tire until you feel like it stops spinning out. Then once you slide this out, your wheel's off. Then you can get to work on the wheel. Now the back wheel is a little bit harder, but still really easy. Now the back wheel is made tricky because of the derailleur and the fact that the chain is gonna kind of hold it up. So the same way you would the front wheel, whichever it is, whether quick release or through axle, you'll slide out whatever's holding the wheel in place. In this case, it's a through axle, but you see the wheel didn't fall out because you have the whole derailleur holding it in place. So if you look at the way that the chain goes, it goes back here, then forward, and then back again, and then forward. It's this like first forward that is holding the bike up. And you can't just pull that out the way usually because most derailleurs kind of loop back on themselves. So you'll grab the back of the derailleur, usually get it out of the way. Oh, you see it's starting to fall. So get the bottom out of the way and then push this middle part by my hand. You'll pull that back and then you see it gets the whole wheel out. So the chain is no longer underneath holding it. Boom, and then the wheel comes out. Then the tricky part that usually people have issues with is putting it back in, because you can't, if you just leave it here, you can't just put it back in because then it's not going to be in the right spot, right? The cassette isn't going to be inside of this loop of the chain. So you got to do the same thing just in reverse. Pull the back part down, slide the top back, and then you see the circle, the loop of the chain, get the cassette in this loop, and then from here, find your way back in to where you got to be. The last skill is how to change a tire. So let's say you get a flat, you want to change the tire that you're using. All of those things require you to take this tire off and then put in a new something. And it's conceptually pretty simple. So this is, the rim is kind of like this, right? So this is the metal part. The metal part of the rim is kind of like this. Then the tire comes and grabs on the inside, and there's usually a tube inside that pushes the tire up against the inside of that U. So what you have to do, and I have a video on this, what you have to do is go in here, separate, or usually let the air out first. You let the air out of the tube completely, it goes down. Then you separate out the tire from the edge of the wheel. Get a tire lever, scoop it all the way around so that it's completely hanging off one side. And then from there, you remove the tube and just do it in reverse. Put the tube back in, close the tire, air it back up. I have a video right here on how to go tubeless. So to go from having a tube inside of the tire to tubeless, which if you don't know, almost all cars that we have go tubeless. So it's not like this foreign, strange, dangerous thing. And most professional anything, even road riders also go tubeless. But if you want to see how to do that, you can check out this video right here. It shows you at the beginning how to go about taking off the tire, taking out the tube, and then you can just do that process in reverse. All right, if you like this video, hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hopefully this helps you feel a little bit more confident working on your bike and can hopefully help save you some money so you don't have to go into the bike shop for these. Hasta la próxima, mi gente, nos vemos.